Hello, my name is Jake Gifford. I'm the lead driver manager for the eastern regions of EMR. I currently have oversight of Lincoln, Boston and Norwich, but I manage Norwich Depot. I'm here to talk to you about the role of depot driving and how critical it is to our business to ensure that we can bring trains into service correctly and safely. In doing this role, you'll have to comply with a drugs and alcohol policy, which is zero alcohol before shift and no illicit drugs within your system. They're random tested at certain times, so it's key that you understand that. Safe operation of trains and safe movement of trains is vital. It's how we get our units into service for passenger use. You'll be responsible for doing safety checks, and that is both in the train itself and on the outside of the train. So that's checking oil levels, coolant levels, the coupler, which is how two trains attach, ensuring that all the safety systems in the cab are operative, which is, you were taught that during your time at the Customer Service Academy. Also, in doing that, bringing trains into service, which is bringing trains from the depots, which is Eastcroft or Etches Park, and bringing them into the mainline stations of Derby and Nottingham. The classification of trains that you'll be operating on are, if you're at Eastcroft, it's 15X, 170s, and if you are at Etches, it is the 222s Meridian class, and eventually you'll have the 810 Aurora class. There's a video link that will be posted later for the 810 Aurora class. This is a brief showing of the cab environment and how that new cab will look. They're due to enter service into 2023, I believe it is. Good trains, good for our passengers, and good for you guys to learn them. Also in this role, you'll be dealing with passengers and dealing with customers. So it's important that you're customer focused, because whilst you'll bring a train from either Eastcroft or Etches, you could be asked questions by our paying customers. So it's about being polite, respectful, and being an ambassador for EMR. We have, like I said, got the drugs and alcohol policy. It also, this job as a depot driver, you work 365 days a year, and it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you work a 4-day working week, 35 hours, broken down over a 13-week pattern. Also in this job, there may be times when there's a need to bring a train out of service and take it onto the depot. That could be due to a failure on the train, or it could be due to other circumstances. There is a Q&A session later on, so if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch, and thank you very much for your time.
Hi guys, I'm Matt Dance. I'm one of the driver managers based at Derby. I'm going to introduce you to one of our instructors.
Hi, I'm James Harvey, based at Derby as driver instructor.
So what we're going to do, we're going to give you a quick tour of the new Aurora cab. Please bear in mind this is a mock-up, so it will be pretty much what we will get, but it is just basically made out of wood, but it is pretty much as we're going to see it. So I'll just spin you around and then we'll go from there.
So this is our new train cab of the Aurora. This is what we're going to be getting in 2022 to the beginning of 2023. This is the home of the driver, and this is where we do most of our work. So as well as monitoring the track ahead, we've also got all the equipment inside the cab that we'll monitor. So I'll give you a quick tour of the cab. So these are the driving controls, the power handle. We've got CCTV cameras that we can use to monitor down the train, speedos, brake gauges, and we've got a train management system over there that will also give us information back from the train.
So James, how do we brake the train?
So the brake is all done from this. So we've got a power brake controller. So to take power, it's press down and apply power. To brake the train, it's put into a brake step, and the further you push it forward, the more brake you get. Cool. So there's a lot more involved with the driving role with regards to regulations and rule books that we deal with, but this just gives you a brief insight to what to expect from the driving cab.
Hi, my name is Alice. I'm currently a depot driver at Nottingham Station. I've been working there for 2 years as a depot driver. Before that, so I had a bit of a weird way I got into the railway. After uni, I graduated and then went off to Australia travelling. To be able to fund more of my travels, came back, started doing agency work, and they rung me one day and went, how would you feel about working at a train station? I was like, okay, yeah. So I started at Derby Station doing passenger assistance, helping people on and off the trains, using the ramps for wheelchairs, helping with bags. From there, I did a little bit of time in head office doing the labour pay. And then I went to Nottingham Station doing pass assist again. And from there, I started applying for jobs within the railway. I got onto Gate 9, so customer welcome host. I was there for 18 months, which was really good. getting to interact with people every day. Still got to do a bit of pass assist, which was really fun because I liked talking to people, getting to know them and helping people when they needed help. From there, while on the gates, I wanted something more of a challenge. I wanted to use my brain a bit more, engage. So I decided to apply for driving. I applied, went through the application process, which was very spread out and long-winded, but got to the end. And then started at the academy 2 months after I got into talent pool. So in the academy, it was, the first few weeks were very light and airy, learning how to book on, things like that. And then it got very intense, learning all the technical stuff, how everything works. You don't drive any trains while in the academy, I feel I should state. It's more about the theory behind everything and what you do when things go wrong and how to react and how to interact. Then after that, you do training with a mentor at the station. So I got an amazing mentor, took really good care of me and was very calming because I get quite nervous. So it was very calming to me. And then from there, did 4-day pass out. So 2 days doing rules papers and then 2 days driving and passed. And then it's been 2 years and I've enjoyed every minute of it, even though I've had days where I've cried my eyes out, days where I've been smiling, laughing so much and the shift has gone in the blink of an eye. And yeah, and then so in next week I start as a mainline driver, so it'll be back to basics, learning, getting passengers on my train, which I'm really excited about, learning some new routes and exploring and seeing where it leads me from there. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, my name's Anita. I am a depot driver manager at Derby. So basically that means I look after, or I'm ultimately responsible for 9 driver managers and over 230 drivers, and that includes mainline drivers and depot drivers. Talk to you a bit about where I've come from and how I've progressed. So I started on the railway over 23 years ago, originally on train as a customer host. I then went on to be a driver. I was a driver for 14 years and then decided I wanted to have something a little bit more challenging and give something back and make a difference really. So then I went on to be a driver instructor, and from there I went into being a driver manager, and from that point on then I went to be a lead driver manager, and then I am now a driver depot manager. So in the space of 23 years I've gone through quite a few positions in my time. So what I would like to say is being a depot driver, the world's your oyster really, because once you've qualified as a depot driver you're up at a mainline standard as a driver, so you can potentially go on to being a mainline driver. You could become a depot driver mentor, a depot driver instructor, you could become a driver manager, or you could even branch out into other areas within the business. Okay, so that could be operational standards, you could go into management in other areas, you can go into basically anywhere within the business, but the depot driver role is a wonderful role to have. It's an essential role within the railway, and it's a highly responsible role, and it's something to be proud of once you've qualified. So I would highly recommend you, if you want to apply for being a depot driver, it is a good job, and there is so many possibilities. And I mean, I'm testament to that you can go, from strength to strength from being a depot driver.
Hi, I'm Paul Griffin, I'm the head of drivers here at East Midlands Railway. Firstly, thank you for putting up with our technical difficulties. Hopefully you can all read this properly. So Irene's asked me to say some words of encouragement, and I genuinely do think that driving is the best job in the world. I still carry a driver competence myself, something I've always been very proud of, very keen. I work hard to maintain that competency both in tractions and within the routes here at East Midlands Railway. Progression within this business is fantastic. I started way back in the years when I didn't have quite so much grey hair as a driver, and I've been through multiple grades, and now I find myself as the head of drivers for the entire business. There's got lots of examples: mainline drivers that started as depot drivers, driver depot managers that started as drivers, instructors, mentors. going from teaching people to assessing people to writing company standards are all possible within this business. It's a great place to be. It's a brilliant team. I genuinely believe having fun at work is the right thing to do. It's just really is truly a great place to work.
Hi, I'm Chris Fairclough. I'm the driver depot manager for Nottingham and Eastcroft depots at EMR, and I'm going to take you through some of the answers to the most frequently asked questions we had in the comments during the open day on the 15th of November. We did get a really good question about what happens if you fail the training. Now, the recruitment and assessment process to get in the job in the first place is so stringent because we only want people on the course that are going to pass it and become really good train drivers. If we put you on our course on day one, the odds are you have the ability to go through and be a great train driver. In the rare circumstance where someone does struggle to complete the training, we offer all the help and support that we can do. It's in our interest for you to qualify and be a safe train driver. However, if you're incapable of meeting that standard, then we would terminate your employment. Some of you asked about whether you need to pass the psychometric testing if you've already done this with another operator. We will check your details against the register for everyone in the United Kingdom, and if you've already passed to the standard that we require, you'll bypass those stages of the recruitment process. It's worth remembering that you can only fail the tests twice in your lifetime with any operator, so do bear this in mind when you apply. Some of you asked about how many vacancies we have. We're recruiting for a talent pool, so if you meet all the requirements and pass all the stages, you will be put in the talent pool. People are taken from a talent pool and put onto a training course subject to business requirements, but we have the capacity within EMR to take up to 48 trainees a year. Obviously, this won't all be at the location that you've applied for. Some of you asked about the minimum and maximum ages for being a trainee train driver. The word apprenticeship is often associated with younger people and training in colleges, but you can be any age in order to do the apprenticeship. To be a train driver in the United Kingdom, you need to be at least 21 years of age, so that's the minimum application requirements. There's no maximum age to be a train driver as long as you meet the medical requirements. We had quite a lot of questions about relocation. The 45-minute rule from one of our depots is key due to the safety issues that Anita mentioned earlier. We have depots at Derby, Nottingham, London St Pancras, Kettering, Boston, Lincoln and Norwich, and you need to live within 45 minutes of the depot that you're applying for. These vacancies are just at Derby and Nottingham, and therefore if you were successful, there wouldn't be any accommodation provided for your training as it all takes place at either Derby or Nottingham. One question was, are you able to apply if you are the holder of a current EU driving licence but not able to drive in the United Kingdom? You'd be more than welcome to apply as a trainee, but you would have to be training from scratch as a trainee because you need to know our specific rules for driving here in the UK. If you're already a qualified UK mainland driver, then look out for our qualified driver vacancies at all of our depots.
So finally, I'd just like to talk about what will happen if once you do apply, and if you are successful, you will actually go into a talent pool for a period of 24 months. From there on, if there is vacancies, depending on where you've specified your interest, whether that is Nottingham or Derby, you will be taken from that talent pool within them 2 years to progress then into a vacancy, depending where that vacancy is. We do stipulate there is a maximum travelling time between your home address and your nominated depot, which will be 45 minutes. The reason why we do have that in there is so that we can manage safety and manage fatigue. So it is quite an important requirement when you do apply for this position that you are within the 45 minutes. And that is just made so we can manage health and safety and manage your personal well-being around that.